Dear December, I think I've cracked the code. I don't like to believe that humans are evil by default, but I also don't think that hatred is a learned trait either. There's something deeper here, and it can't just be because of the holiday rush. I've seen my share of people who feel as though everyone's out to get them, myself included at one point. And I've also seen people who have put so much effort into the destruction of others, whether it be out of frivolous disagreements or just full-blown war. It's a shame that the path of death and dividing has been chosen more than kindness and collaboration. Families broken and bickering against each other. I just don't get it. But whenever I get angry, it's because someone has hurt me. Deep down, I know that feeling of rage and wanting to strike back has only risen because I wanted to hurt them because I thought that they wanted to hurt me. Maybe they didn't mean to. It's difficult, you know? Dear December, it's 10:10 p.m. right now, and I feel really fucking dumb and sick, so sorry if I cough. I'm just not in the swing of this right now. Or at least I'm trying to get back into the swing of things. My relationship with creativity and its correlations with productivity and practicality, of course, just seem to be button heads once again. And I worked all day, all week, and I got off, I cleaned my bedroom, and afterwards I took a shower, and later on I recorded. I am recording. I'm being productive. But why does something not feel right? I did everything that was expected of me and that I want to do, yet I still feel like I've failed. Like I should have done more. But why? I didn't just accomplish that. I accomplished. I succeeded. I took care of myself, and yet here I am again, and maybe I just need some sleep. Yeah. Yeah, I think I will. Dear December, I'm finding that whenever I go into an introspective mood, I'm instantly drawn into this melancholic state. It's pretty typical, and that's probably why I stopped listening to slam poetry. But for today, I'd like to flip it on its head. So, I would like to present to you a list of things I like to do to make myself feel better. And of course, results may vary. Take a shower. Remind myself to eat. Think about what to do on my next day off. Make a list of the things I want to get done. Then actually do those things. Read that book I haven't picked up quite yet. Sit down and pick something to watch. Play around with makeup. Do a grown-up version of dress up. Pretend that my life is a play or a D&D quest. Remember that somebody loves me. Text a friend and check up on them. Stay in bed and cuddle the stuffy I've had since I was 3. Light up the candle that's my comfort scent, and it just so happens to be hot cocoa and cream. Save money to spend money. Sing in the car on the way home. Stay away from TikTok and Facebook too. And finally, make my favorite cup of tea. Dear December, I typically avoid talking about religion, but the number of holidays that are celebrated within this month make it practically impossible. My mom brought me up Catholic, with communion, catechism, the works. Funny enough, she put me in a Lutheran daycare. And why not? The summer program they offered had so many field trips. I never really learned anything, though, apart from the Golden Rule and the 10 Commandments and how you can't draw Jesse McCartney getting beaten with a chair by a nun on a religious billboard. Yeah, the church lady gave me an earful that day. But as of now, I don't know what you call it. I don't practice anything other than kindness and creative expression, the occasional crystal for good luck. I don't know if I have any kind of spiritual connection, but I think the closest I've ever gotten to that feeling is whenever I'm enveloped by a story or a song, and I'm not quite sure if gods or higher beings really exist. But what I do believe is that it's a relationship that you build in solitary. Religion, in a sense, has built communities and brought opportunities for the unfortunate, but it's also caused death, destruction, separation, war, more so than any sort of misunderstanding or just the inability to accept that everyone is different and they have their own beliefs and their own abilities, and everybody should be accepting of that. And yet, when you get down to it, I think gods exist only if you believe in them. They're there for some, but they're not there for others. I mean, I wish there was a name for it, but even if the scriptures survived for this long, and no matter how many people follow the book, I believe it's more important to fill your life with wonder, curiosity, and care than to cause harm. I contemplated this for a while and asked my dad about his upbringing. We never talked about it before, and he's not very good at talking about himself. But what I had gathered from him was that if everyone who walked on Earth never lied, cheated, stole, murdered, and instead acted a lot more like Jesus, we all would be in a better place. Can't say I disagree. But I certainly don't miss the church crowd when I was managing at a grocery store. Dear December, you know how yesterday I said that I don't really feel any kind of spiritual connection? Well, I think I felt something similar today, and I just wanted to elaborate on that. I visited the Henry Ford Museum, and I almost cried. There was an exhibit featuring costumes from Disney movies, and it took every ounce of my self-control to not jump behind the ropes and glass and just touch everything. I saw Giselle, Cruella, the White Witch from Narnia, the Sanderson sisters, Belle, Maleficent, Mary Poppins, both of them, Santa Claus, even Captain Jack Sparrow. But the one that made me teary-eyed was the 2015 live-action Cinderella gown. It was something that I've never thought that I'd ever be able to see, and the fact that I got admission for free, holy fuck. Let alone the fact that I saw 2 costumes that Johnny Depp wore. That's pretty fucking cool. I wish I could have count the layers of the 3 miles of hem and 500 hours of craftsmanship shared between 18 artists. It's astonishing. Dear December, I cannot believe what I'm about to say. I thought that petty middle school insults were a thing of the past, but apparently I was wrong. I went to a holiday party at work and I got a backhanded compliment that translated to the adage of, "You're ugly." This was not only said by an old lady, but also a coworker. and a longtime friend of the family. Different departments, different generation, still a coworker, but not so much as a friend anymore. I won't waste my time contemplating if it was said out of jealousy or she just had to take it out on someone and I was the prime target once again. What I will say is beauty is arbitrary and means different things to different people. Today reminded me of how clouded my judgment of myself really is. Because of course I'm unattractive. Of course, considering myself beautiful is a sign of vanity and pride. I just like to be comfortable. Even if it means no one will turn their heads to me as I walk through the door. I'll eat what I want to eat when I need to, because nothing good has ever come out with being anorexic. And I'll dress more feminine one day and more masculine the next. It's all up to me. And I like it that way. I will promise you one thing, though. I will always be clean. Dear December, I found myself in a conversation with someone who I, quite frankly, was debating on distancing myself from. Good friends are so hard to come by, and losing the people I used to converse with is extremely painful. Therapy helps, yet it's embarrassing to recount all the times I should have broken off the friendship right then instead. I wouldn't compare this to rose-colored glasses. I clearly know when I'm hurting. It's more like a ticking time bomb. But whenever something good happens, I turn back the clock and count all of the excuses why I should keep the friendship when the cuts are scabbing. Then she gives me a new cut. And I laugh. I brush it off like it was just a joke, and she probably didn't mean it that way, right? I should just forget it. It's not important. Choose your battles. And then I become a hermit again. Until I long for another connection, and yeah, that's just the way people are, you know? Why am I so upset? Dear December, there's a secret project that I've been working on, and I've been a little scared. It's one of those things you want to talk about, but you can't for marketing purposes. I don't want to spoil anything either, though my audience has caught a glimpse of it before. I get too eager, you see, too ambitious, and I don't realize that making changes to something that has been set in stone for years can actually be a good thing. It all came to me like a flash, and I truly think I have something here. Even though other opportunities and important obligations keep getting in the way. So, bills have power over passion projects, and again, there's a delay. But if I can make it so one benefits the other and vice versa, well, I've made all the right decisions. Then what if I fail? What if no one buys into the idea? Actually, December, you are known to be one of the most expensive months of the year. And don't get me started on finances in January. Dear December, I don't blame you. My role had to stop for a couple of days because I am quite literally coughing up colors. Every morning it's the same. I'm sick. I hate being sick, mainly because I'm someone who finds resting and skipping work to be completely unacceptable. When I got COVID, I had no idea what to do with myself. In fact, when I was young, I still went to school, even when I had a fever. I remember having an argument with my mom because I wanted to go to school, but I had a fever. But I just wanted to go. Fuck. Okay, there is one pro to this. All right, maybe, I don't know if it's a pro, but like any kind of low notes I can do, I feel like I just elongated that. So like, hey, little songbird, cat got your tongue. No, it doesn't work out, does it? Oh, but I do have this one running joke where I sing that Le Festin song from Ratatouille whenever I pour medicine. You know, like, well, I'm swallowing, don't blow down, right, rolls on me. Then I don't darling, up there. Dear December, needless to say that the next couple of prompts are going to be, well, sponsored, but not sponsored. Definitely not sponsored. I don't make any money doing any of this. Basically, this is brought to you in support by Mucinex, Sudafed, and Vapo Rub, and lots of tea and honey. Yeah. But I just wanted to say thank you so much. There was a blizzard overnight, and it feels like 12 below. The world outside looks like one of my favorite video games, The Long Dark. When I was little, it truly felt like it was never really Christmas unless there was snow on the ground. I have you to thank for that. And Mother Nature, of course. And no matter how old I get, I don't think I'll ever get tired of getting a ruler and sticking it into the snow to see how deep it actually is. And this is going to sound really sad, but the snow is making me miss my dog. She used to play in the snow, and it was so cute when she stuck her face in it, and no matter how cold it was. I bet it really cooled her off, though. Like, she had the prettiest mane you'd ever seen on a Pomeranian. She knew how to open her own presents, too. I regret not getting her ashes, but the paw print suffices. At least the vet told us where they spread her ashes. I want to visit her. When the roads clear up, of course. Dear December. So, this is how it ends. Every year, while I'm dreading my family coming over and hoping that I won't want to rip my hair out, I get this kind of feeling. It's very nostalgic to me, and yet I don't necessarily have a name for it. It's not like grief and it's not like excitement, but just rather, you know that feeling when just you know that the party's over now? And all that thrill and that anxiety just drops, and you're just kind of left there with the pieces, and the bottle returns, and the trash, and the leftover food. And knowing that I'll be here again. And just time is so weird, you know? It's like I know that I'm gonna have this feeling again. On the same night every year. And I just have to blink a lot in order to get there. It's like 365 days. It feels like forever when you're in the middle of it, but then once you're at the end or the new beginning, it just feels so strange. And I think I'm afraid. I'm afraid that what if something happens and that next Christmas won't be the same? But why should I be afraid? I've survived up to this point, right? It's funny, isn't it?